Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Justin Davis. With over 10 years of FPV and drone flying experience, also flying RC since I was a kid, and we have over 37 million views on my channel to date, and 175,000 subscribers. I have flown thousands of drones and taught workshops, camps. We started a drone curriculum back in even 2014, which the AMA, the American Model Association, wanted to have a draft of. We have been involved with most every organization in the drone industry, for the exception of aviation industry type drone stuff. As far as personal drones, we did have a brick and mortar store back from around 2014 to 2016. But the point of this video today, just establishing my background, is to talk to you about getting started in drones. If you are someone who has the idea to start a company, or if you're just someone who wants to fly a drone for the pure fun of flying a drone and the enjoyment factor. And hopefully in this video today, this is mostly geared toward the enjoyment factor. But you know, some people turn their passions into their job, and they turn their hobby into a job. I've done that many times in my life. I've actually thought about just doing a video solely based on the evolution of my self-employment since 2006. I basically designed what I want my life to be like, and financial life to be like, around what is important to me. And that's a whole nother video. But today we're going to talk about entry-level drone that is an $18 drone that you can pick up on the Banggood website, and actually on flash sale right now. Just going to go ahead and show you the website. $18.99. Looks like 0 pieces sold, but this little drone's actually 5-star review drone again from Eachine, and it has 44 reviews already on this one. It has headless mode, 360 rotation, which is it does flips and things like that. But the most important thing about this drone is not that it's just a cheap, junky little drone. It's a drone that can basically put you on your journey towards getting into our hobby and really having fun with it. One of my first drones ever was a little Traxxas drone, and yeah, Traxxas used to make drones back in the day. Imagine that. But yeah, they're known for RC cars, but they also made drones, and they made some pretty cool ones. I crashed it all over the house, and eventually it ended up somewhere in the trash. But this one is one of those kinds that can get you started indoors or outdoors, and it has not position hold, but it does fly pretty stable in the air. And if you want to add an FPV camera on here later, you can also do that. That's a lot of fun. So I'm going to put a link down below for an FPV camera that will fly on this drone. So really, you have a ton of options. Even though this drone is so cheap, you can do a lot of experimental type things with this type of drone. You can turn this drone into something that is a live first-person FPV view on there, just by adding some goggles and that tiny little camera. But start out flying at line of sight, and that's the most important advice to me, to you. Learn how to fly it. That means without the goggles first, and then move up to the goggles later. Biggest advice that I could give you as an experienced pilot. So let's go ahead and let's do a couple experiments with adding some DJI on here and an analog camera, which were total fails. But they're a little too heavy, so it's good that you know as the consumer that the E65H is not going to be able to handle the DJI setup on there. You can put an analog camera on there, and it's a little tiny AIO, as it's called, and that little camera is I mean, it's only a few grams. So we're gonna put a link down below for that. So if you want to start out line of sight and then move up to a little bit of FPV fun, after that, I'll put some goggles in the links down below as well, and you can be on your way to having some fun in the drone hobby. So let's go ahead without further ado. Still a little indoor flying with this little Eachine drone. Here we go.
power buttons here. And the LEDs on this are so cool. You've got an LED in the very front as well. And it'll blink until we turn on the transmitter. So turn on the transmitter. Let's see what this little dude will do. All right, it's ready to go. So it sticks down and to the outside to arm. And we're gonna come up. And apparently this one does flips. It will fly in high speed mode, low speed mode, 1 key return. And it also does headless mode. But isn't that cool? Check it out. Really super stable. Whoa, it has a lot of air coming out from under it. It just made that picture fall down. Our little message board there. Little message on there from Christmas. It says, "It's the most wonderful time of year." So, this is pretty much hands off right here. And you can see how stable this drone is. Kind of crazy. It does move from the left or right. And you really don't need to use the trim buttons on here like an airplane. Because drones, once they sit on the table, they calibrate the gyro. So if your gyro is properly calibrated, it should kind of hold its position. But this doesn't have any vision positioning on it. So if you don't have vision positioning, I mean, the drone is going to drift. And people, it's funny, like new guys get a drone and they're like, "Man, I'm trying to trim it and it's not working. It's not flying stable." Happy's not sure what to think. That's our new puppy down there. Her name is Happy. She's a happy dog. She's the new drone camp's mascot. Happy, what do you think about that, Hap? She's not so sure about that. But so stable. I mean, for $18, this is kind of fun. You can add a camera on this one. I'll put a super cheap FPV camera down below that will work with this drone. You can put a little battery on it. I'll also put a little larger drone, cheap toy drone down there that you can start with, that you can fly indoor or outdoor. I mean, cheap fun, you know, sometimes cheap fun is more fun than expensive fun because you don't have to worry about it as much. And so right now I'm in the low rate mode. I'm going to go ahead and hit the high rate mode. Okay, now it should fly a little faster. It's actually flying pretty good. It's very predictable. It also does flips. And I don't know about inside the house, but we'll just give it a shot. Careful not to suck to the ceiling. Oh, nice. Wow. Oh, hit the ceiling. Whenever you hit the ceiling, that's going to happen. Oh, boy. All right. So sometimes when it gets like out of order, it will like land itself like that. And then it'll reset. So I'm going to go ahead and do a backflip again. Wasn't that cool? It does not like hit. It will, kind of amazing that it has enough room in here to do a flip. Dude, this thing is crazy durable. So this one, I actually got a while back. And this one is definitely one that I want to let my kids fly. This is a great trainer for my son and my daughter. And the battery might be telling me that he's just about done. But, you know, it looks like we still have some good flight time left. That's what it's all about. Just pure drone enjoyment. And you can train yourself, learn the basics. I always say to start out flying line of sight first, and then learn how to fly FPV after. Get some goggles after you learn how to fly this with your hands. Years ago, I taught a course called the Drone Camp's Future Pilot. And Future Pilot course was basically from the just pure basics of flying a multi-rotor, flying circuits, and learning all the orientations. And if you learn to fly line of sight first, you'll actually be able to recover a drone a couple hundred yards out by line of sight, bringing it back. I've done it before, and if you learn how to do that, that will most likely save your drone. If it gets away with you, gets away from you, say you're. Sometimes I've had an issue where the FPV camera went out, and I had to take my goggles off my face really quickly and fly the drone back line of sight. And it's a scary thing when you're out there, 2 football fields out, and the drone looks like basically like a like a small black dot. And what you have to do is figure out where the back of the drone is and where the front of the drone is. And that takes a lot of practice. You can kind of practice that in a ball field. Take a drone like this out in the ball field, mix it up, turn it around, spin it around, and then see if you can reorientate it to bring it back to you. That's a skill that if you master that, you'll absolutely that will benefit you later big time, and it may save your drone. And it may save your investment as well. So that's really a great skill.